welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Channels Television, celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. Now let's share with you some of those pictures that were sent into our eyewitness portal. And the first one we have is from Wuse Zone 7 area in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. It shows a herdsman and his cattle moving along the road. Our eyewitness reporter wants the relevant agencies to look into this. The next one was sent in from Aba in Abia State, and it shows a flooded portion of the road. Our eyewitness reporter calls on state authorities to fix it before the rains return. And here's one sent in from Jos, the Plateau State capital. It shows an accident involving a commercial bus and a truck laden with fuel. Our eyewitness reporter wants motorists to adhere to traffic regulations. Here's another showing a vehicle overloaded with brooms and people sitting on top of them. It was sent in from Oloruda Road in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Let's end with this photo, which shows a student hanging on dangerously to the back of this moving truck along a bad road in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Our eyewitness reporter calls on state authorities to prevent such acts.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thanks a lot for sending in all your pictures. We ask you to keep them coming. The Supreme Court today dismissed the objection of Governor Seriake Dickson of Bayelsa State to admitting and playing video evidence tendered at the State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal by the All Progressives Congress and its governorship candidate Timipre Silva. The Apex Court agreed with counsel to Mr. Silva that Governor Dickson's objection is misplaced, unwarranted, baseless and lacking in merit. The court, in a unanimous judgment, ordered the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Tribunal to play the video evidence tendered by a witness of the APC candidate to prove his petition against the result of the governorship polls.
Very sound judgment. Very importantly, it was delivered by the full court of the Supreme Court. And it went a long way in settling nagging issues in the law of evidence. It has laid a foundation as well for future applications in this respect. It's also important to the petitioners because the issue of the admissibility of the DVD was central and remains central to the determination of that petition. We say so because we alleged that the election was wrongly cancelled, and all the respondents contended that it was not cancelled, it was postponed. Now, in the DVD, which was played at the tribunal, it was shown that the resident electoral commissioner cancelled the election.
The court bent over backwards to hear this appeal and make a determination which every court in the land will rely on. They also ordered that the Pt.2 should be recalled at the tribunal, election tribunal, to demonstrate the said DVD. And I reminded the court that the said Pt.2 had come, demonstrated it, and the evidence in the DVD actually is evidence that supports our case. So all we try to do in this appeal is to ventilate this aspect of Evidence Act, which has not been tested.
Let's cross over to Abuja now, and here's Yemisi Ipaye. Yemisi.
Hello, Ejoma. Great to see you, and welcome to Abuja, the nation's capital. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, has announced a replacement for the Chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Representative Abdulmumin Jibrin. Speaking during plenary, Speaker Dogara informed his colleagues that the House leadership took the decision to replace Mr. Jibrin as the committee chairman with Representative Mustafa Dawaki. The Speaker further explained that Jibrin had coincidentally approached him saying he did not want to continue as chairman of the committee. Correspondent Larry Lassisi reports.
It's a development that many saw coming. The removal of Representative Abdulmumin Jibril as the chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation.
The commitment on the part of the leadership that will look into the appropriation process to see that we'll strengthen it in order to avoid pitfalls of the past. And one of the resolutions that we arrived at was to effect a change of leadership of the Committee of Appropriation. And incidentally, the chairman himself woke up to me this morning after that decision was taken and said that the burden is too much for him. He doesn't think he will be able to continue.
The Speaker also promised that other decisions will be taken to improve the appropriation process in the House, a process that led to the passing of the 2016 budget, which left many members upset with Representative Jibrin over his handling of the budget. He, however, denies that he was forced to resign.
I wasn't forced to resign. I resigned on my own volition. Until date, I have said if anybody has anything that I have done that amounts to an abuse of my office or amounts to an illegality, that it should be brought forward.
For the new chairman, he says he will take steps to correct the mistakes of the past.
In every opportunity somebody has gotten, there must be an improvement. We study what transpired in the past. We look at it critically, and we now see what are the possible solutions that can be applied to correct those mistakes that were made.
In the days ahead, it will be interesting to see how this committee settles down to work and what other changes the House will put in place for a more transparent appropriation process. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Senate has directed that the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, must appear before members proceed on recess tomorrow. On May the 26th, the lawmakers had summoned the minister to brief them on the 2016 budget and other economic issues as they affect Nigerians. Mrs. Adeosun, however, failed to appear before the upper legislative chamber today, prompting the motion to have her do so unfailingly on Thursday.
The minister ought to have considered the fact that she will be attending the Federal Executive Council today. But as it is, she has sent a message very late in the day to the Senate. I would not take it as disrespect to the hallowed chambers, but rather take it that it is an act of omission on our part. And I hope this will not repeat itself.
We must take her before we go tomorrow. And unfailingly, either she comes here at the end of council, we are still here, or tomorrow unfailingly. Because this, the governor of Central Bank herself made an effort to be here on Tuesday. And we postponed this the first time because of the Minister of Finance. And I hope that she will make it to today, or she'll be here tomorrow, because these are issues that are very important to Nigerians to understand where is the way we're going forward. So unfailingly, she must be here by tomorrow.
A Nigerian is among 7 people who have received research grants collectively worth $1.2 million for HIV research in the pediatric population. Amara Eze-Amama, who is an assistant professor of epidemiology and biostatistics at the Michigan State University in the US, will be studying the long-term survival of school-aged children with HIV infection and exposure in Uganda. Our South Africa Bureau Chief Pt.2 spoke with her at the AIDS conference going on in Durban, South Africa.
35 years and positive milestones later, the International AIDS Society, IAS, says infants, children and adolescents still lag far behind adults regarding access to HIV treatment, prevention and support. Amara Eze-Amama, an epidemiologist, is among 7 people who have received the largest IAS pediatric research grant so far, totaling $1.2 million. Ms. Eze-Amama will be studying the long-term survival of school-aged children with perinatal HIV infection and exposure in Uganda.
I'm looking at them at the time they are in school to see how they're different in terms of their ability to learn, so executive function, their quality of life, and also to look at psychosocial adjustments, because I really think that these are really questions that get at the neuropsychological stigma-related outcomes that really affect functioning.
Looking at the Nigerian pediatric HIV issues, it's a very worrying picture.
We have 60,000 kids born HIV positive in Nigeria every year. We have the largest burden of children being born with the virus anywhere in the world.
We still have a lot of work to do in tracking this from pregnancy to child, even up to 18 months.
When you look at the data with Nigeria, it's sobering. It's sobering enough that it almost makes me want to cry about it, because you go like, where is the person who's protected the Nigerian child?
Amareza Mama says setting the path right definitely requires collective effort devoid of unnecessary bottlenecks.
You can be in Nigeria for 2.5 years trying to start, and you don't start with a lot of the blockades that are not necessary. And I would wish that, and I'm also hoping that other scientists who are also of Nigerian descent invested in that would be able to really think about how can we begin to engage.
The research grant comes from CIPHA, the collaborative initiative for pediatric HIV education and research. The body supports research that will help close the gaps between global responses to HIV among adults and the pediatric population. From the Albert Luthuli Convention Center in Durban, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Staying on health matters, the Cross River State Government is working out a plan to reposition the state's primary health care to be of the highest quality and at the same time affordable. To make it a reality, experts drawn from different areas have been brainstorming at the maiden multi-year operational plan formulation meeting in Obodu local government area. When the news at 10 returns, rising costs and forex losses take a toll on quarterly earnings of listed companies. That's on Business News. Join us again.